Philadelphia Eagle fans are always looking for people to trade for or sign in free agency, and right now the Tennessee Titans could be trading running back Derrick Henry. They already let go of wide receiver Robert Woods. Should Philadelphia be interested? Also, Miles Sanders makes a heartfelt plea on Instagram to return to the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles are interviewing college coaches for defensive coordinator positions. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Thursday. The offseason continues to roll very, very quickly towards the NFL Scouting Combine next week. However, we have to go ahead and address some big-time elephants in the room, and that is Derrick Henry. Now, I did a live show last night with my good buddy Josh Davis of the Philly Special Show. If you missed that one, be sure to go ahead and check it out. And I had so many people asking me, Thomas, there are reports that Derrick Henry could be cut or traded because Tennessee is trying to free up cap space. They already let go of Robert Woods. Should we go get Derrick Henry? And immediately I say, yes, I would love Derrick Henry. But then I immediately go, no, we can't afford Derrick Henry. And this seems to be the ongoing dilemma for Eagle fans really all offseason long. This is what Eagle fans do every single offseason. Now, I'm not accusing you of this. I'm accusing myself of doing this too. We see any sort of superstar player as someone to go ahead and go after instead of actually using our heads and saying, wait a second, can we afford players like this? So let's first go ahead and show you exactly what's going down with Derrick Henry and why I think, yes, I'd like him, but no, you can't afford him. Here's the article from SI.com. Quote, in bold prediction, ESPN's Jeff Darlington believes Titans should consider trading running back Derrick Henry to the Buffalo Bills. With the offseason here, bold predictions are bound to start happening around the league. And a bold prediction, ESPN reporter Jeff Darlington said on the network's popular Get Up show, the Tennessee Titans should consider trading running back Derrick Henry to the Buffalo Bills in the final year of his contract. In today's pass-heavy NFL, some teams around the league tend to shy away from paying their star running backs. Tennessee Titans signed all-pro running back Derrick Henry to a 4-year, $50 million deal during the 2020 season. And they go on to talk about how he's been fantastic, 4 straight years being a 1,000-yard rusher. However, you see it here, Henry is set to make $16.3 million in 2023 and will then potentially become a free agent unless the Titans can find a way to extend their superstar running back. So, Jeff Darlington comes in and says, hey, trade him now because you're only going to get him for 1 more year and then he's going to walk for nothing. This happens a lot in the National Football League. I talked about this with Dalvin Cook yesterday and the fact that, hey, the Vikings, they don't run the football as much under Kevin O'Connell. Maybe or maybe Dalvin Cook could be traded. They draft a rookie running back, and that way they don't have to continue carrying his $13 million cap hit or whatever it is. However, if you actually watched the show yesterday, you will see my opinion on it. And my opinion on it was this. Yes, I would trade for Dalvin Cook. I'd give a 3rd-round draft pick for Dalvin Cook, sure. But he has to guarantee he's going to restructure because I'm not paying a running back over $10 million a year. Really, truly, it's just not smart to do. Every NFL team that has done it has not gone to a Super Bowl. There's a very, very interesting tweet, which I should have saved a couple of days ago that I saw, and it listed every single Super Bowl winner or Super Bowl runner-ups running back the past couple of years and how much they were getting paid, and almost all of them were on less than $5 million a year deals because running back has been grossly devalued in the National Football League. Now, the Eagles do need to figure out their running back spot, but there are plenty of options not named $16.3 million Derrick Henry to fill that gap. And again, I don't want to be the kind of show that just comes on here and tells you, oh, well, the Eagles, maybe they could go get Derrick Henry. I want to tell you, listen, people are asking about Derrick Henry in this case. Right now, if there's an actual report to it, I'll tell you, hey, reports are saying Philadelphia's interested in this person. Reports are saying the Eagles might draft that person. However, if there's no real report saying that, but you, the fan, have been asking me about it, I'll tell you why you might have thought about this, hence the Jeff Darlington conversation about the Buffalo Bills, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. And as I said earlier, you just strictly cannot afford him. Now, what I think would be a much cheaper option and a better option is Miles Sanders, who said yesterday on his Instagram, or I guess involuntarily said on his Instagram, it's kind of a weird, Instagram post, but, celebrities are going to do what celebrities do, that he wants to remain an Eagle. And I give you, again, not as good of a running back as Derrick Henry. Come on, Derrick Henry's one of the best running back in the National Football League. Him and Jalen Hurts together would be unstoppable, but a much cheaper option who truly wants to be in Philadelphia. You see Sanders' tweet here, or an Instagram post via the Eagles Nation Twitter account here. Miles Sanders, I love Philly. Just bring me back. I hope they bring me back. When asked if he had a message to Howie Roseman and the organization, I love you. I hope you love me too, end quote. Now, Miles Sanders has become the most polarizing player currently on the Eagles roster in my comment section. Half of you guys love Miles Sanders, and half of you think he stinks. And I can't decide where I'm at on either side of that argument. I feel like very much in the middle. I think Sanders is a really good running back. I think at times he's underutilized, and at times he doesn't run well. Josh Davis, again, on the live show last night, said he thought Miles Sanders was really bad in the Super Bowl. And that's one game, but still, kind of want your star running back to be there, but I do think Miles Sanders is going to be a more team-friendly option for the Eagles, and the combination of him and Kenny Gainwell splitting carries in 2023 is probably the Eagles' best option. That doesn't say I don't want Bijan Robinson. That doesn't say I wouldn't trade for Dalvin Cook or trade for Derrick Henry or sign Saquon Barkley. All better options, but when we got to talk about running back, you've got to be really smart about where you spend your money, and I'd much rather have somebody who's a little bit cheaper, under $10 million, i.e. a rookie or Miles Sanders, versus trading for someone who's going to cost you almost as much as a star wide receiver does in Derrick Henry. Let me know what you guys think. So I'm curious about the whole Sanders versus rookie running back versus just Gainwell versus, going get one of these stars that you trade for. Where would you want the Eagles to spend their running back money? Let me know in the comment section down below right now. Okay, I want to move over here to the Titans releasing Robert Woods, obviously a possibility for the Eagles, and then the Georgia coach being interviewed by Philadelphia. But first, I do just want to give a quick shout out to everyone who's been subscribing to my show. The fact that I'm past 9,000 subs in just a couple of months is unbelievable, and I can't thank you enough. I don't want to make a lot of calls for subscribers, because you guys can subscribe if you want, but I would love to get to 10,000 subs here by the next couple of weeks, and I think we can do it. I know a lot of you guys watch that aren't subscribed, so if you want to help me get to 10K, which is crazy, you know what to do. Red button. I'd appreciate it. Okay, so more Eagle fans. Last night on the live show, we're asking about Thomas. The Titans are releasing all these star players, include Taylor Lewan and Robert Woods. You think that Quez Watkins isn't very good, so that last night, could Robert Woods be an option? To that, I say maybe. So, ESPN article here. See the headline: Titans release longtime left tackle Taylor Lewan. Robert Woods. It's from Teron Davenport, again, of ESPN. And they apparently saved like $23 million in cap space by getting rid of their star left tackle. Robert Woods, who cost them $12 million last year. Cunningham and Bullock. So a lot of people, Zach Cunningham and Randy Bullock, were let go. When it comes to Woods here, it's very interesting because Philadelphia tried to trade for Robert Woods last offseason. People forget that. Pre-A.J. Brown, you could have had Robert Woods. The Titans did trade for him for a 2023 sixth-round draft pick, ESPN says here, to the Rams last year for Woods, to acquire him, who was coming off an ACL tear in November. Woods, 30, worked his way back from the injury and played all 17 games last season. Woods, a 10-year season veteran, posted 53 receptions for 527 yards and 2 touchdowns in his only season with the Titans, end quote. So, again, could he be better than potentially Zach Pascal or Quez Watkins? Sure, 100%. But I think we need to understand what the wide receiver position, their wide receiver 3 position is. Wide receiver 3 position is for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's someone who's going to get maybe 50 targets a year. It's not a lot, because you got to realize you have A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith, and you have one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. Honestly, you can argue a top 3 tight end in the National Football League, maybe a little bit higher, in Dallas Goedert. And so a number 3 wide receiver is not going to do much for you. Now, could he draw some coverages away, some double teams away from A.J. Brown if he was good enough? Sure. But again, with cap space being limited this year for Philadelphia, you don't have the luxury of getting another star receiver. And so Woods, while he's not a star, might be a little bit more expensive than you would like, but I don't hate the idea. Again, I don't want to poo-poo you guys' ideas. I read the comments. I see what the fan base wants, but I want to be a little more realistic. That's my goal in covering Philadelphia and covering the National Football League. Whatever I talk about is being realistic, and I think realistically, both Derrick Henry and a guy like Robert Woods don't make a lot of sense. Now, what I think is interesting is this next story here, and that goes into the Eagles' defensive coordinator search. They have now reached out to college people, and I talked about Jim Leonard of Wisconsin. He interviewed. They had mutual interest, but Leonard is going to, forego coaching this year and have hip surgery, I believe. And now apparently Philadelphia is looking at, according to on3.com, Georgia co-defensive coordinator Glen Schumann, as he interviewed, I believe it was yesterday, and they're also looking at the Michigan defensive coordinator, as we'll see in this article. So they're going everywhere. This one is particularly interesting, though, because Georgia has had the best defenses in college football the past couple of years. Here's on3.com. Quote, Georgia co-defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach Glen Schumann is reportedly on the Philadelphia Eagles' radar, according to Dan Matthews of 680 The Fan. Schumann is the latest college coach interviewed by the Eagles for a vacant defensive coordinator job in Philadelphia. The Eagles interviewed former Wisconsin interim coach Jim Leonard, but passed. Philadelphia also reportedly interviewed Michigan defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. Schumann is the latest college coach potentially making a jump to the pros, according to Matthews' report. Schumann was previously a name to watch for Alabama's defensive coordinator job back in January, according to Bruce Feldman. Schumann has been the co-defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach at Georgia since 2019. He joined the staff in 2016 solely to coach inside linebackers and then got the title bump. Schumann is only 32 years old, end quote. Now, obviously, a couple of things jump out here. One, the Georgia connection for not only linebacker Nakobe Dean, who is expected to get, I saw it, the quote-unquote green light this offseason, and green light this year to be a starter depending on Kaiser White and TJ Edwards' free agency situation, and also Jordan Davis, who was underutilized this past season, but for a reason. It was kind of a redshirt year for him to get him acclimated to playing, on the defensive line in the National Football League. He will be playing a lot more with both Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave expected to leave in free agency. So the connection is there. What's also interesting for me is Philadelphia wants young coaches. Now, I think they would have most likely gone for Vic Fangio. He would have been their top choice, but right now, this older group of defensive coordinators or head coaches are kind of being weaned out, and everyone's trying to find the next great young guy. And the fact that he's 32, they looked at Nick Rallis, I believe, the inside linebacker coach on staff, who went over to be Gannon's defensive coordinator. He was 29. The oldest guy in the running right now seems to be Vance Joseph, and so Philadelphia trying to stay young. The question is, where will they land? And I've said this before. Philadelphia is not in a situation where no one wants to be their defensive coordinator, hence why they're interviewing so many people. Philadelphia is a prime spot to go be a D coordinator because, as we've seen, it's a jumping pad into being a head coach. Jonathan Gannon just had that happen despite getting obliterated 38 points in the Super Bowl. And so a lot of these guys probably want the job. Philadelphia is taking their time, and they're going to go ahead and pick the best person possible. And I'm very confident whether it's Georgia, whether it's Michigan, whether it's Vance Joseph, whether it's internally, Denard Wilson, who knows, it is going to happen sooner rather than later because the NFL scouting combine's next week, and you kind of want to know who your coordinators are because you want to send them to Indy. That way they can get a good idea of who you possibly want to pick, especially the D coordinator, because that's where Philadelphia probably will go with their 2 first-round draft picks. Okay, plenty more stuff happening next couple of days and weeks. I'm telling you, it's the offseason. It's almost more fun. Not really, because I wish I was watching games, but it's more fun in the fact that there's drama everywhere. And so if you enjoy me talking about that, whatever I really talk about on a daily Thomas Mott show, NFL, could be the Eagles, could be other teams. Subscribe down below, and of course, stay tuned for more. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been Thomas Mott.